his notes over there, I hope. Someone be nice and help the guy out because he's helping us out. All right, here we go. Changing fractions to decimals. Yesterday we did decimals to fractions. Now we're going to go the other direction. And then we're getting pretty close to most of the stuff we're going to be doing with fractions and decimals. The only last thing we're going to have to do is throw percents in there sometime. But that'll be a little bit later, okay? So right now let's just worry about decimals and fractions. Well, today we're going to start with a fraction and go back to a decimal. For instance, something like this. I'm going to go ahead and put an example up here. This mixed number, when I say fractions, I'm also including mixed numbers, so don't freak out. Go, oh, that's what you said, fraction. Well, a fraction is a mixed number because a mixed number has fractions. So, that's what we're looking for. And somewhere over here, we're going to want a decimal answer. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? That's what we're looking for. Everybody understand where we're starting and where we're going?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All right. That's where we're starting and where we're going. We're going to have some more examples, but we're going to look at that one right there. All right. Well, let's just go right into the steps, how to do this. Is that a deal?
sir.
All right. So, here's our steps. I'm trying to make them as simple as possible. In the past, I've been kind of a big mouth frog, and I've written too much in our notes. So I'm trying to cut them down this year. Is that a deal?
Yes, sir.
Miss Jones next door is helping me, Miss Math Jones, trying to cut it down so I'm not quite so wordy. All right, we'll make it simple. Is that a deal? Let's just make it simple. So the first thing we do, looking at that right there, turning this into a decimal number, because decimals and fractions are related. They just look different. That's what we saw yesterday. They're the same thing, they just look different, all right? Ignore. Is that how you spell ignore?
Yes.
No. You forgot the
E? Good job. Ignore. Not ignoramus. No. Ignore. What does ignore mean? Don't worry about it. Don't look at it. Okay. Ignore. Don't pay attention to it. Ignore the whole number. Uh-oh, I said it wrong. What is that? Whole number. There you go. The whole number. Ignore the whole number until later. Now, what does that imply? What does that imply, Brother Ty?
You'll eventually get to the whole.
We're going to eventually get to it, but right now, we're just going to play like it ain't there. Good job, dude. But we will play with it later. We're just not going to play with it right now. All right. Ignore the whole number until later. Step 2. Oh, this is where it's going to kick people's hiney today. Now we're going to divide. Some of us have trouble with dividing, division, so today might give us trouble. I don't have time to reteach y'all how to divide. Y'all should have already come to the 6th grade knowing your division facts. Maybe at home, you and Mama should be working flashcards, right? So we're going to divide, meaning we're going to be using a division house. Okay, we're going to divide. All right. In this division, we got to have some numbers in that there box, don't we? We got to have some inside and we got to have some outside. And students every year get messed up who goes where, inside or outside. So, Mrs. Jones and some of us and some others came up with a neat little thing called Cowboy. Now, I'm not talking about the Dallas Cowboys, even though they play Sunday night, first game against New York Jets. That's all right. we're going to do what's called cowboy. Cowboy on a horse. Cowboy on a horse. Now you are going, what does that have to do with division? This is what it does. Whoops, I forgot. I almost went cowboy. Cowboy goes in the house. Horses don't go in the house unless you just got a horse that's part of the family. But most of the time, I bet you guys that got horses, they don't go into your house because they sometimes leave deposits every once in a while. Right on the floor. So the cowboy goes in the house. In a fraction, what do you think the cowboy is? No, it has nothing to do with big. It has nothing to do with small. Cowboy on a horse. Think about it. Reason? The cowboy on a horse. The top number of the numerator is the cowboy riding the horse, where the frac bar is the saddle. You get it now? Cowboy on a horse. So the cowboy goes in the house. The horse does not go in the house. The horse goes in a barn. This is a house. It is the cowboy's house. So the cowboy's going to go in the house, which means what? The horse, which is the denom, I guess we better put up here, numer. That's the numerator. The cowboy goes in the house, that's the numerator. And the horse stays where? Outside the house. And of course, the horse is the denom. I don't think the horse will be riding the cowboy. It will break his poor back. Stomp him with the hooves. Okay, so let's come over here. We're going to pause. I got some more steps here. As a matter of fact, y'all, if y'all want to know what we got left, we got a star and a star and number 3. That's what we got going there. That's what we got left. But we're going to come over here and start this right here. We're ignoring the 5. We're going to play with the 2/5. We need to divide. Now who's in the house?
Cowboy.
Cowboy. 2 is in the house. The horse, denominator 5, is outside. Is everybody with me? Who went where?
Yes, sir.
Julian?
I think you had a little mess up because 5 can't go into 2 at all.
That's exactly right. Good job, Julian. Give me some love. You are correct. Put a decimal. Oh. Put a decimal by cowboy. Because just what Julian said, 5 will not divide into 2. So there is a decimal right there. Now y'all, don't write this, just watch this. The number 4, does it have a decimal in it? Doesn't look like it, does it? But if I was going to write $4, Barrett, if I'm going to write $4, do I need a decimal?
Yes, sir.
Where does it go if I'm writing $4 for this?
On the right side.
On the right side.
On the right side, and then I do what?
Add 2 zeros.
Put 2 zeros and a $sign. So I'm going to ask the question again. Does 4 have a decimal?
Yes.
Yes, it does. It's just invisible. I call it, you'll never see this in a math book, I call it Casperized. Because it's Casper, the invisible friendly ghost. Right? So, does 2 have a decimal? Yes, it's Casperized. It's right here. So we make Casper show up so I can see him. Put a decimal by Cowboy and put zeros if you need them. Okay? Because Julian made a great point. 5 will not divide into 2. But I know 2 has a decimal. It's Casperized. And I'm going to put a 0. So what I'm asking you is 2, don't write this, just look at it, and 2.0 the same thing? Yes, they are. We just had a Casper decimal and a Casper 0 show up to help us in our division. That and that are the same thing. They just look different. So don't freak out because I'm putting 2.0 because we're saying $2 is the same as $2. Don't those mean the same thing? So I think those mean the same thing. I think those mean the same thing. I think those mean the same thing. What about you?
Yes.
Okay, so we're okay with that. So you're okay with putting a decimal and a 0 to help us?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to put decimals by the Cowboy and put zeros if you need them. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to leave that star off. I don't think I need that star. I'll take him off. So, now, can 5 divide into 20?
Yes.
Yes, it can. I do need that star. Y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that star. So put that star back over there. How many times will 5 divide into 20? 4. Now, class,
There's not an X.
go ahead, bud.
Okay.
You need to bring up a desk.
Thank you very much. Will 5 divide into 20? How many? 4. Now, where's the 4 going to go? Above the 2 or above the 0? The 0. Y'all got to remember your division, right? If 5 divides into 2, that's what we put. A lot of people put 0 right there. 5 divides into 2, 0 times. You may have been taught that way. All right? But 5 will divide into 24 times. And then let's go backwards. 4 times 5, 20. No leftovers. Okay?
What if there is leftovers?
You put it too close, Holmes. What?
What if there is leftovers?
I'm about to say something. Right here. Keep div. What's div? Dividing. That's our abbreviation. Keep diving until no leftovers. And what that means is you keep adding zeros, Lauren. If you had a leftover here, girlfriend, I'm going to show you one, okay? We'll add another Casper 0. Alrighty? We'll show some in just a minute. Now, Brother Ty, we need this here star. Bring what, Brother Holden?
The decimal
Bring decimal
up.
straight up into Ainsworth. decimal straight up into Ainsworth. Keep it on there, Sam, so they can, whoever's watching this can write it down. Bring decimal straight up into Ainsworth. Answer. Don't say answer. That'd be A-N-C or A-N-S-I-R. Yes, sir is C-S-I-R, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. So that's not answer, that's answer.
It's work.
I know, we're dumb Americans. Stupid English language. But our spelling doesn't match what we say.
Yeah.
That's why our language is the hardest language to learn. Okay! This decimal, yeah, you can come over here, Sam. This decimal goes straight up. So now I have 0.4, decimal 4, 4 tenths. Step 3 down here, last thing. What do you think it's going to be?
Simple.
Circle.
As a whole number.
Uh-huh. Guess what?
Ignore.
That's right. We're not ignoring anymore. Now, put whole number on the left. Oh, man. Almost spelled out left. Of decimal. If there was one, right? If there was one.
Oh.
Put whole number on the left of decimal if there was one.
Why is one not on?
If there was one. That doesn't mean if there was a number one, just mean a whole number one. Oh, that's confusing. Was there a whole number when we started this bad boy up here? Come over here, Sam, now. Was there a whole number?
Yes.
And it was the number.
5.
So on the left side, put a 5. We had converted 5 2/5 into a decimal. It is 5 4 tenths. 5 decimal 4. Now, that took a long time because why?
You had to write everything
We
down.
had to write all the steps. It's going to be a lot quicker. Keep it right there, Sam, because we're about to write some more examples. You ready, dude? Dude, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go, Lauren. 5/8. I want to turn that bad boy into a decimal. All right, step 1. What's step 1? Somebody hurry quick.
Ignore the whole number.
Is there a whole number?
No.
There ain't even one. I ain't going to worry about one.
Divide.
All right, second thing, divide. So that means I need a box. Now, somebody goes in the house, somebody stays out of the house.
Cowboy.
Cowboy in. Who's he?
5.
5 is cowboy in. Who's the horse?
8.
8's the horse, right, Julian? 8's the horse. He's outside. Now, Julian's going to say 8 won't divide into 5. So who has to show up? Casper decimal. Still won't divide into 5. I need a Casper 0. Now will 8 divide into 50?
Yes, sir.
How many times will 8 divide into 50?
6.
6. So I'm going to put the 6 above the 0. And let's go our division. 6 times 8?
48.
48. I'm going nice and slow. Here's where we minus. What's 50 minus 48? 2. I have leftovers, Lauren. Here's where it was, right? I got leftovers. Remember, we no longer put R's for remainder. I don't even call them remainders. I call them leftovers. Because well, if we got a leftover, I'm now going to make another Casper 0 show up. And I'm going to bring it down. I now have a 20. How many times will 8 divide into 20? 2. So let's put a 2. 2 times 8? 18? I don't believe so. 16. Subtract.
Oh, we need another 0.
4. I've still got leftovers. Put another Casper zero. Here we go. It's not that hard. Bring it down. Now, 8 divides into 40.
5 times.
5. 5 times 8. 40. No leftovers. That's where we were. Divide until no leftovers. I now have no leftovers. Bring, Julian, bring decimal straight up. Cha-ching. Right there. 625 with a decimal on the left. Any whole number that we ignored? So we turned 5/8 into 625 thousandths. Decimal 625. How hard was that? Squeeze the E's. Right? Alright, quit yawning over there. I'm going to slap somebody. Gonna happen. One more example just to make for sure. Just to make for sure. 6 4/5. You got that in there, Sam? Yeah, you got it nice and zoomed in.
Yes.
I'm not over here no more. I'm over there in the middle.
Yep.
Sure do. Good job. Way to go. What about this 6?
Ignore.
Ignore it. Let's go ahead and do our divide box. Who's inside? Who's outside?
4's inside.
Cowboy 4 inside.
Decimals.
Horse 5 outside. Y'all agree? Alrighty. 5 won't divide into 4 according to Julian. 5 will not divide into 4. Casper decimal. Casper 0. Now will 5 divide into 40?
Yes.
Bam. 8. 8 times 5?
40.
40. Any leftovers?
No,
So decimal straight up. So I got 0.8. That's my answer.
Whole number.
Ah,
Whole number.
put the whole number on the left if there was one. There was one.
6.
Big old 6. There you go.
68.
What y'all think?
Easy.
Yeah, I like it. I wrote that kind of funny, didn't I?
It's
That
sideways.
6 is kind of all hanging down and stuff. That better? That's a little better. 6 is kind of underneath. Kill it, dude!